Some of you guys might be wondering why I haven't been putting up videos more consistently. I know some of you that watch my videos, you don't even like me, but you like to, make little funny ass comments and stuff. But it is what it is. I appreciate y'all views too. But some of you guys been wondering why I haven't been putting up videos more consistently like I used to. And I just been busy with life. Like I mentioned a couple of months ago, I had got a promotion, so shit, I'm at work, sometimes 10 hours straight and business meetings 6 days a week. So, my time has been very crucial. And, the check's been nice, but, my time's been very crucial. So I just really haven't had the time or the mental space to really come out here and do videos like I used to. But I will try to give you guys at least one or two out of the week. And there'll be videos that, of things people are not really talking about, because I don't like to, really make my videos too much like everybody else. I like to come from a different angle. But I want to talk about a rumor that I've been hearing that Ice Cube is in the works of creating a Public Enemy movie. Now, there's been a lot of controversy and people going back and forth about people not wanting to show the image or the story of a group like Public Enemy, because ever since this NWA movie came out, you got a lot of people out here hating. A lot of people are mad at the simple fact that a group that they particularly liked, or maybe they just liked better as far as their content or whatever, didn't have a big mega motion picture out. So a lot of people are attacking NWA for that. But like I said in my previous video, everybody has to have their own time to shine. Everybody has to have their voice. And, just because somebody is not delivering something the way you want them to deliver it doesn't mean that it's right, or it doesn't mean that it's wrong, excuse me. But, I've been hearing this rumor, and if this rumor is true, I'm waiting on it, because Public Enemy was, one of my favorite groups growing up. I remember, hearing Chuck D make Fight the Power for the soundtrack of Do the Right Thing, and He Got Game record. I mean, Public Enemy was just a very influential group that spoke about things of substance, and they had a very socially conscious and political tone to their music. And I just think that even though they get a lot of recognition within hip hop, they don't get a lot of the recognition that they should. And it's probably because some of the things they would talk about, a lot of people got rubbed the wrong way with their content. But if this is true, hey, you got my ticket already. I'm ready to see it. But also, there's been a lot of people, like I said, they've been trying to kind of build this wave or this hate between Chuck D and, or not Chuck D, but Public Enemy, or more, I would say, intellectual conscious groups that were out in the late 80s or the early 90s, and they're trying to basically cause this tension between them and quote unquote gangster music, or rappers who might didn't want to come out and rap or speak about things that Public Enemy, or Poor Righteous Teachers, or a lot of those political conscious groups that were out in the late 80s or the early 90s. A lot of people trying to draw like this, this controversy between them. And basically, I want to come out here and basically just tell everybody that's doing that to basically shut the fuck up. I can't be any any more blunt or direct than that, because we've always had people like this, that try to draw wedges between people within the black community, when really a lot of us are on the same page with things. We just have different ways of doing things. And I came across an article, and I will leave this article in the description box so you guys don't think I'm bullshitting or anything like that, of Chuck D in an interview. And they asked him, have you seen Straight Outta Compton? And what did you think? And I'm going to read you guys some of what he said. He said, yeah, it was dope. I thought Ice Cube and Gary Gray conveyed a story that actually had to go through tragedy, drama, beef, and just how these guys persevered when these guys were young to get to where they are now. I think that was clear. I thought that was a great job. At the core of it, it was a moral and a lesson. if you're together and you don't figure out how to stick together and do the right thing, you're going to drift and be a part of the wrong thing. You're bound to have a very quick demise. And your demise has nothing to do with how much money you're making. Your demise could be losing grips of what you think is reality. So I think that was conveyed in the movie very well. And then he goes on and on about, his new project coming up. It's pretty lengthy. And then he asks him again, what would you say the lesson was? I guess, regarding to which basically he already answered that, but they asked him again, how these journalists are. And he said, when young black people get together, be aware of who you lay in bed with. Pretty much that was it. Understand NWA came together because people didn't give anybody outside New York a chance, but they had to come together. They came together because the music industry was in one particular city into itself. The only way NWA could come up was to become a group and a collective. We fast forward to hip hop and rap music today, and how many collectors do you have? Very few. The power of black music and the power of hip hop, especially in the beginning, was groups and collective efforts. But it's been reduced to one person. You wonder if this is a lawyer's doing or a corporate doing because they didn't want all these niggas in the same room screaming at them. It's easy to neutralize one person than a group of them coming from all angles. I want to repeat what he just said. A group of them coming from all angles. I'm going to repeat that again. A group of them coming from all angles. What he's basically saying is that NWA was basically on the same tip and wanted to have the same type of progressive as, a Public Enemy and et cetera, et cetera. They just came from a different angle, which is what I said in my last video, which is what I'm saying in this video. We have to understand out here as, hip hop heads, that we all come from different backgrounds, different environments. We come from different parts of the country and we've experienced different things. So, somebody growing up in a certain area like a Compton or a Long Beach or Inglewood, filled with high police brutality, drugs, crime, gangs, et cetera, might have a different perspective from, somebody who, might just been a middle class kid that, was on the conscious tip on black progression, but, just read books. They didn't really have to face a lot of the things that maybe somebody from a different community had to. But at the end of the day, those two people are on the same page as far as what needs to be done within their community. And that's my overall point when I come and I talk about hip hop as a whole, and I talk about groups like Public Enemy and NWA and et cetera, and these MCs who had a different type of lyrics, but basically had the same progressive movement as a whole. And a lot of people, which is what he somewhat kind of mentioned in this article here. People, say it's a lot of the Jewish people within the music industry and et cetera, et cetera. And you do have that. I'm someone who works in the industry. I know the shit like the back of my hand. We do have, certain Jewish people who, because the Jewish community pretty much runs the entertainment industry. It doesn't matter whether you talking about sports, you're talking about music, you're talking about movies, et cetera, et cetera. We do have those people who, try to hold black progression back and try to hold certain content. But what I've learned from being in the industry for over 5 years now is that, a lot of this comes down to money. There was a time when, hip hop was just political, and you had a lot of those white people who were buying those music, those records from Public Enemy and what's some brother's name? Cast that made Everyday People, Arrested Development, that's their name. Poor Righteous Teachers, of course, they was buying Run DMC and those cats, MC Hammer, but there were a group of white people that were buying those records because at the time that political movement, even though hip hop was very young, that political movement was still hot. So that's what was selling. It's just people didn't think hip hop would be around that long. They figured it's something, the Negroes are just talking about political and conscious things right now. Then, that'd be it. It'd be gone in a couple of years. But what happened is that hip hop started getting bigger and bigger. And just like with any genre of music, things change as time. So a lot of people think that it was just these big Jewish people that came and said, you know what, we're just gonna throw out all this gangster music. And I'm not saying some of them weren't. Okay, let me make that clear. But at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about what's gonna make the dollar. So when you start seeing gangster music coming to the forefront, it was because it was new. It was hot. This was a voice in a sector of America that didn't have a voice. So with anything, when you have that new thing that's popping, that's coming and it's fresh, people haven't heard this perspective, yet, or people haven't heard this tone yet, it becomes hot. It becomes popular and it starts to sell. So what you have is you got these Jewish people that might not give a damn about the hip hop culture, but they want to make that money. So they see that this new hot thing called quote unquote gangster music, which I don't even know if I really want to name it that, but when they see that's hot and it has the potential to sell and it is selling, that's what they're gonna push. It's not always about, we just don't want to see any political stuff, because if political music was popping like that, that's what would be pushed. Because at the end of the day, these people want to make money. And that's why I stress, about the black community controlling our dollar, watching what we spend our money on, because money controls this country. And you can create a whole hell of a lot of chaos, and you can create a lot of justice just by controlling your dollar and watching what you spend and making sure our black dollars go to the correct places. So when we look at a lot of these, a lot of people out here get into these conspiracy theories and everything, and sometimes that's the case, but very few times it is. Most things in life are very plain and simple, and they're right in front of us. It's just we fail to pay attention to those type of things. But it's about the dollar bill. That's what it's about. It's about what's going to sell. Now, I'm not saying we don't have people within the entertainment industry who basically don't like black folks, don't want us to speak our truth and try to hinder it, because they do. I'm in business meetings all the time, and white folks or Jewish people say little slick shit, and I gotta correct them, or sometimes I'll just sit back and I'll just observe to see what they're gonna do next. Sometimes you always attack your opposition. Sometimes you just need to sit back and watch them and study them so that you can make your next move. But I just want to come out here and let everybody know that I did read this somewhere. It is a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it would be as marketable as a group like N.W.A. But hey, I'm down to see it, even if they release it on an independent level. I'm down to see it, because I was a big fan of Public Enemy, and just the jewels and the knowledge that Chuck D would kick in all of his rhymes. But you guys give me your feedback on it. Would you check it out? It's like I said before. I'm down to see diversity within hip hop. Okay, we saw N.W.A. We saw that perspective. Now let's let another group. Let's let somebody else, like a Public Enemy or somebody. Let's let them have their voice and let them have their perspective. So that's what I'm about. I'm about diversity. I'm about not silencing someone strictly because I don't like their tone or I don't like the way they deliver something. I know how to get the overall message without getting offended always. But you guys give me your feedback on it. Would you check the movie out? Do you think it's marketable? Do you think that these big movie production studios will fund anybody the money? Because you got Kickstarter out there, and I know Ice Cube has a good relationship with Universal, but also Chuck D was pretty he was pretty heavy, and when we look at it from a marketing point of view, it will be a little bit more tougher to market on a global scale, because a lot of people don't really find, no insult to Public Enemy, but they don't really find them that interesting from a global perspective. So it will be a lot harder to market, but I'm down to see it. We don't know these big mega production studios would, fund the movie, but if they do, or if they don't, you got Kickstarter, you got different programs out there where we can definitely get this movie in the works if we want it to happen. But you guys give me your feedback on it. What you think? I'm out. Let's have an open mind out here. Let's understand different perspectives and let's protect the art form and the culture of hip hop. I'm out.